Recording now. Okay, what do you guys think about the last couple of weeks of instruction, like skill-wise, what they need reinforcements on?
I say we do a choice board. So I've got a couple examples of choice boards that I'll share with you guys that just in my opinion, we just need to give them something. It gets them reading, and then it gets them, thinking about their reading, and they can write about it too. There's different ones that do different things. Like we can even link, hang on, I'm trying to find where I put them.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it a choice board for the week?
Yes.
So you would post it on Monday, like,
Yep.
say 2 choice boards maybe, or you know what I'm saying? Or like one for the first week and one for the second week?
Right. We could switch it up. The other thing I found, and I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about.
Sharing is caring, Tammy.
Huh?
Sharing is caring.
Yes, it is. The other one I found was, no, not that one. This one. So this is an electronic choice board. They will have this choice board, and each slide is a different one of these boxes. So like this one, you can tell which box it is because it's got the red around it. And there's several of them, so we can pick and choose which slides. We can only, we could put just 5 of them on there, or we could pick.
Do that for 2 weeks.
Right, we could do this for 2 weeks, and they could work on whichever 10 they want, out of these 12. And what they do, and then they put their work right here on the slide.
Oh, that's cool.
Crazy.
It is. So, can we justify, like, I'm trying to look at, is there like inferentials? Because like we need to also make sure we let them know the standards we think that need to be included. And I think like drawing conclusions and inferencing are always.
Yes.
So is there any way to incorporate some of that? I mean, this is awesome, but I'm just trying to see if any of it is inferential. Do you know what I'm saying?
So we have questions. So questioning, what things do they wonder about? They have to then write questions on this one. This one is they're doing a summary. Characters, just
right. Characterization.
With lesson. So this is theme.
Yes.
You have drawing the main character, so their traits, character traits. You have compare and contrast of the characters. This is make a comic strip of a part in the story that you enjoyed. So, and they create a conversation. This one is setting.
Yep.
We have think about what the character's point of view is. Draw a diagram, draw a picture of something related to the topic about the information that they chose, the book that they chose. We have making connections, text to text, text to self. And then this was vocabulary.
Well, maybe that works because it's got so many skills on it. Like,
right. And honestly, in reading, it's the reading of the text, reading grade level text.
That is.
And then just thinking about it and applying their knowledge. I mean, that it's one option because I have quite a bit of choice boards that I found. Like if 1 week we wanted to do a reading choice board and 1 week we wanted to do a writing choice board, we could do that.
So Tammy, let me ask you this then. Do we want to, what about hey.
Sorry.
No, it's like, hey, surprise. So what about providing text for the kids? My concern is, that's my only concern with a choice board like that is because some of my kids didn't even take their library book home over spring break. And so.
Well, here's the cool thing with that. if they're doing it digitally, and this is for our digital kids, because we're going to have to come up with a choice board for the kids that aren't digital. And honestly, they can probably do a lot of that stuff just still on paper.
Right.
But have you guys heard, I'm sure you've heard of Epic Books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Epic is free right now. Just give out your class code, and it has several books on there. So it could be find a book on Epic.
Or we could even or we could provide some, you know what I mean? Provide a couple of links for, because honestly, is it Storyline that has I think Storyline, I did it with my stepson. A lot of famous people read stories. You know, and I know if any of us have done read alouds on YouTube, then maybe those could even be.
The storylines might be a little bit harder for them just because they don't really get to see all of the book and see the pages a lot of times.
Okay.
And it would be different. But yeah, Epic, totally we could just say, hey, here's your login for Epic.
Yeah. Give them
take a look, tell me what book you know, and then pick one of these boxes.
Because we use it during the year. Do you guys use it during the school year?
I have not used it, no.
I haven't either. I was going to, that was on my list of things to start for centers really this year.
The kids love it. So
I used it in second grade, so I know of it, but.
Okay.
How high did the books go, Ashley?
I think just to 13 years old, I think.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
So stuff that our kids could get
into. It's definitely stuff our kids can do.
And you know what else though? We could also push link for the library. I mean, that's all free, and all they have to do, they can even sign up. I mean, during this, so we could even provide a few links for the digital kids, and even the kids that are not on the Google or whatever. You know, some of that stuff can be accessed from phones or from. So I could see us providing, as long as we provide some resources that are free for them to get text, I think that makes total sense.
And we can always create our own choice board as well. I have a template for that as well. So we don't necessarily have to go with that digital one either. There was one, where.
You want to show us some more? Are they worth it?
Yeah, some of them are worth it.
I just think if we do if we do the choice boards, it's probably really going to only work for the digital kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would work for the regular kids too. They just would have to write their, we just give them a copy of the choice board.
Yes. But I feel like access to books would be the issue.
Yes.
My only concern too is
I have an alternative idea. What if we did 1 or 2 weeks just on writing? Because I would say probably throughout the school year, I don't know how much writing you guys have gotten to do.
A lot.
I do feel like it's really important for them to be able to write next year. And so that also minimizes the amount of papers and materials and even preparation. We could just, focus in on certain things. We could do a 5-paragraph essay or something and focus on mini lessons on how to write, or we could focus just on any kind of writing standard, and we could have them do fun things or have little contests, but that could just be an alternative simple idea that we could do.
I was also thinking, what if, I love the choice board, but I wonder if we could work it in, because if we identify, would you guys agree with that? I was thinking the 2 big skills that I think, obviously writing too, but the 2 things that kids really, really struggle with are vocabulary, just basic word skills. I think that's a big struggle in 5th grade. So that could be something, even if we did a choice board, we did it based on, something that was easier to access, but also that inferencing and drawing conclusions, because it's such a subtle difference using your inferencing to draw the conclusions or whatever. That's something that they traditionally struggle with, especially nonfiction and fiction. Hey. So
Human main idea is another big one too.
It is, but I want to make sure we don't make it. I have had more engagement with our last couple weeks lessons. with our figurative language and the poetry and stuff, I've had a lot more. I mean, not a lot.
I feel like my engagement has gone down every week. It's just been up.
Yeah.
I kind of think as the assignments have gotten shorter and more simple, I've seen a bit more consistency.
Yes. So what if I don't know. That's the dilemma. So do we just divide it up like we did based upon a skill, or do we, that's kind of something we need to decide what they have the best chance of doing. Because there could also be.
I really like Tammy's choice board that she just showed us. I really do. I just am trying to figure out what do we do with the kids that are not digital.
So Tammy, are there other choice boards that have stuff like that are a little like would have some options for at home?
Yes. So like
that are not just based on text, that maybe have word skills, or that's what I mean. If we did that.
Right. So like this one is a writing one, and you have all the different kinds. So this is personal narrative writing choice board. This one is a fiction. This one is opinion writing, which we just got finished with. This one is informational. So this one has this one is just hey, finish this, little thing. We got a response to literature.
What do you think about making our own based on some of these that we see, but making sure, like, I think we should make one. I do. We could even like have it, I don't know if there's templates, but like divide it on, like I could do some word activities and like we could divide up the skill that way, so to speak, or it doesn't have to be, or, because that's what I want to make sure we have those skills in there, and I would think that we could do one of these a week.
Right. So like here is a blank one where we can just type in here and type whatever the activity that we want them to do. We can incorporate some writing and some reading into this, because we could take out the your choice and just do all 9.
Yes.
There's that one. And with this one, the example that they don't give you this, but so this one has things like write 3 questions about the story, find a partner and take turns answering each other's questions type thing. But we can do, something where they can write about it. Draw a picture of the main character. This one incorporates places to go put your work. So like we could start a Padlet or a Google form. I don't know what that exactly looks like, but things like that we could do.
Well, so what if a couple of us did one week and a couple of us did the other? Or something like that. Let's use one. But we could actually, some of those writing ones were really good. There's no reason we couldn't borrow from that. And also, if we, like the examples you just showed, we could still make sure that the kids, since they're easier maybe, then we could, for if at-home kids wanted to do it, we could use a read aloud versus having to read the text. And like on I do the Lightning Thief, but I have the text projected.
Right.
And there are ones that have that we could possibly make available. So I think that's awesome that we could customize a choice board, one each week.
Right.
And they can show it. So
I'm good with that, and we can just kind of do maybe 2 of us do one week, 2 of us do the other week, do writing and reading on there. Like you were saying, this writing one that Tammy that you're showing us is great. Like we could really just take it straight from there for the writing stuff.
Yeah. Well, and this one is reading too. So the one that you see right now is a response to literature. So they would have to have a book, but this could be something that that they do as well.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if it was an easy enough task, they could use a read aloud as a plan B. It's not as good as them reading the text, but we could, either get on Epics or,
right.
Use the read aloud your teacher's done, or, they could use a storyline, just simple, make it really, really simple. Because even if they don't have a tablet, if they have a phone, they should be able to access those videos. So
yeah, they should be able to get on YouTube.
Oh yeah. So I think that's awesome. I think that's fantastic. So and like I said, I have some things I could do for word work. just, some context clue stuff. I think that's important for them to have some final, vocabulary. We know our kids are weak in vocabulary overall. That's the one thing, even on iReady, that they usually consistently don't do as well on, is vocabulary, word skills, and decoding some of those unfamiliar words, even using context clues around it. They just don't. Some of them will just read on past it. And that's,
right.
So if we wanted to chunk it up in, like you say, a couple of us do the first week, a couple of us do the second week, and then we can have that wrapped up. We can have our lessons, done, and then we wouldn't do that old PowerPoint anymore. We would just present this master choice.
We could just give them the choice board each week, because that would work then for the packet going home. They just get a copy of the choice board.
Yeah.
And
yes,
each day you pick one thing to do.
What do you think about the only thing I think that would be missing here, and I guess we could do it if it's, digital anyway, like some of the enrichment stuff. Like, I want to make sure that if there's a link or there's something we want to add, would we just have a second slide with digital resources? Because it wouldn't really fit necessarily in the box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, we could just have another page. But I think at this point, I'm just struggling to get kids to just do anything, really.
I know.
Yeah.
I used bribery. I told them, I said, okay, the kids with the most assignments are going to get a gift card from McDonald's.
I'm just going to be happy if you just do this and turn it into.
I know. I told my kids I'm giving you, if you turned it in, I'll put my little comments on it, but you're going to get 100% on Google for turning it in. It's completion.
Okay. So I have a question, and I think I might've missed this when you guys were saying this. So like, the choice board, are there only going to be 5 squares a week that we're sending home?
9.
No, I would, like, this one has 12. So like ultimately it depends on which choice board. We can create our own that has like 9.
I like the tic-tac-toe.
Right? Or like this one for 12, if we create one that has 12, it can go for the 2 weeks. Like, we would only have to put one out and just say this goes for the whole 2 weeks. Pick one thing to do every day, and that'll give 10 with 2 left over.
Well, If we did that, then we could even do it where if we did one for 2 weeks, then we could even, like if there were 12 on there, there's 4 of us. We could each do 3 squares.
Yeah. I'm good with that. I'm good with the 12 for the 2 weeks.
And then pick a what am I trying to say? Like, we each pick a skill we want to put on there. Like, one could do some writing, I could do some word work, somebody could do some info. You know what I mean? Like, we could each do a skill for and have 3 choices for that skill. Does that sound fair? Is that okay?
Sounds fair, but I feel like we're reinventing the wheel.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's right here for us.
Yes, girl. Yes.
I agree.
Reinvent the wheel.
I just
I do agree with you, Amanda. I do feel like vocabulary is one of the areas we're really weak in and that they struggle in. So if we wanted to include a few squares that be some word work and stuff, I think that's fine too. But I think as far as everything else, like, I think it's done for us, really.
My only red flag is when they told us, like, I just don't want this to come back later. This is that devil's advocate moment of having. I don't want anybody to look at this and say, but did you identify the skills that you wanted to make sure you reiterated? Because that's what they were telling us to do yesterday.
Yeah, we just need to look at what we have and see what skills they address, because they all seem like really worthwhile skills. And if you really want to do vocabulary, you can maybe include it as a bonus if you wanted to, or part 2 of the lesson. But I totally agree. I think this is fantastic, and it's all done, and it's nice and simple. I think it's all done for us.
And I also really think too, and I could be wrong, but I really think the focusing on the 2 or 3 standards was really for if we were going to do the interdisciplinary stuff. So that way, it was because like with reading, like nothing with reading is really taught in isolation. So I really think that all of this that we're doing right now is great. It kind of encompasses like everything we've done all year, really. Right. And it's going to strengthen everything that we've done. And as readers, and you read, you do multiple things at one time. So
no, I agree. That I said that was a devil's advocate. I just wanted to make sure.
I get what you're saying, but it's good that you're playing devil's advocate because we can talk about it and know what we will say if someone were to come and say, "Why did y'all do it like this?"
Yeah, because I think this, and I, like I said, what I now being who I am and looking at this, the reason I think it's awesome is because there are so many resources. Like it's just honestly, we want literate children going into 6th grade.
And we
literacy.
can probably, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm good.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, and we may be able to find, like, I don't know, looks like there's a lot of slides here on this that Tammy shared with us or shown us, but we may be able to go through and pick them and try to find a lot that maybe do have to do with inferencing or drawing conclusions.
That's what, I think we should definitely try to do that.
So, I mean, we should definitely try to do that.
This choice board is mostly writing. So you have the different kinds of writing, and then you have response to literature and response to informational literature.
So then maybe what we can do, because we do need to still try to get writing in, so maybe we can focus on one style of writing or one type of writing we feel like kids struggle with. So
okay, so look at this one.
Look, tricky words from the text.
Yeah, that's what I just saw too. So like this one, this response to informational has choose 6 tricky words from the text, determine the meaning of those words, then use them in a new sentence about a topic.
That's fantastic.
You have 10.
That one.
So we could take some of the response from literature and some of the response from informational and then even some writing ones. So like one row, I keep pointing to my computer. I do this in videos too. Like
I do it too.
So like this row could be all about response to informational. And then this row could be response to literature. And then this row could be writing. So they have those 3 possible choices. And since there's 5 in this one, they would have to do, and some of them may choose to do all the writing ones because they really like to write. And then some kids may choose not to do the writing at all, Yep.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I heard a bird and I spaced off. And literally, that's where my brain's at. So you're saying tell them they have to choose from. That's why the tic-tac-toe works, but make sure they have to choose from each row, is what you said.
We totally can. No, I didn't say that, but yes, we totally.
That's what I was thinking, because that way we guide. Okay, if there's 12 and we're going to make them do 6 or something or whatever, I don't know what we decided, but. You have to pick so many from this row, so many from this, and so many from this.
So what you could do, what we could say is, in a week, you have to spell the word right. So like you have to pick one from the W at some point during the week. At some point during the week, you have to pick one from the R, and one from the I, and one from the T, so that by the end of the week, they do have the word right written out. And then this could, again, it could go for 2 weeks because there's enough on here that we don't have to plan again or do anything. We just say this goes for 2 weeks.
Or spell right twice.
Right. They would have to spell right twice.
Is there a blank one of these on here?
There is not.
How hard would that be for us to create something? Because I also like how they have the little choice slides after. I really like that. But what would be the easiest way to customize this bad boy then?
I would probably have to, we would have to decide. So I'll share this with you guys.
Okay.
And then you all can look at it and we can decide which ones we want to do.
Okay, so then do you want to, once you do that, do you want us to each kind of look through, find our favorites, and then do we want to meet briefly when we've had a chance to look over it and then kind of do it, make sure we insert those, or do we want to just try to, each of us be responsible for so many squares?
Well, I'll have to play with how to reinvent this, so that I can, because like right now I'm trying to click in here and it won't, so it must be a background. So I would have to go in and try to.
I think it wouldn't be that hard, and I wouldn't even mind trying to make a table.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard for me to make a table, and then you guys just tell me, hey, I want this one, we want these in there, and then I just have to type them, or we could all type them,
Well, I can already tell you I want 6 tricky words from the text.
Right.
So I really love that one. So, but well then, okay. So do you want to just like I said, if you're fine with that, otherwise I don't mind doing it either. Just kind of doing that, and then do we want to start, if we do this as a new Google slide, right? Like our own Google slide, then also we could make sure we have that second slide, or have a slide embedded with, we start to put some resources. Like I can put storyline, and Ashley can show, or we can, show the epic or whatever. Like we could make sure we provide that too. And then if any of us have any bonus, just the challenge things we need to make available for kids who want more, if there are any.
Right. So if you wanted to come up with like after you pick 3, if we're doing 12, then if each one of us pick 3 squares that we want included in the choice board, then and then you want to start putting together some resources for enrichment and extra optional stuff, then that's fine.
And then we can figure out the format.
Right.
I mean, we've got time. It's only Thursday now, and so this is the stuff that's due next Wednesday, right?
Right.
And we could potentially have 2 weeks worth done.
Right.
By Wednesday.
If we have get this done, and this is what we're going to choose to go with, then we're done planning for the rest of the school year,
which will be nice.
And then we can just work on managing and reaching out and all that stuff, and then creating videos. And I don't know if you each probably want to do one for your kids, but like when this is done, instead of a true mini lesson video, I will make a video for my kids walking through the choice board, giving some direction and some guidance.
Because basically, if in my vision is, if we put this as our work, then we don't really need a video lesson. No. We can each do for our own class of whatever videos we want to do for that day,
like a screencast, or if there's an extra little YouTube fun thing, or go to Brain Pop or whatever, we can customize it for our kids that way.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's awesome. So then Tammy, do you want to try to play with the template?
Yes, I will play with the template and get it shared out as soon as I can.
And do you want to?
I'm still stuck on, what do we do for the kids who don't have books at home?
We'll pick things that, like I said, the only thing I can think of is pick things that, I mean, we could even include, I hate to say it, I know they don't want to make copies, but if this is all we're doing, we could include a couple passages.
Well, but they're not going to print them though.
What if they, but would they, if they knew this was for 2 weeks, is my point.
No,
they won't care.
Think they will.
I think
Can't we just write notes telling them that they can use any story? Because I know, for example, when we're doing mini lessons, I'll let them pick a movie to go through plot or setting. We can tell them any story in the world that they want to use. It could be something they've already read. It can be from a TV show or a movie.
Yes.
As long as they can prove the skill.
I like that. I think that'd be great. Don't you, Ashley, think that they could? I mean, they're watching movies.
Yeah.
We could let them use what they have.
Killing. That's all they've been doing for the past 5 weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, hey, watch Netflix. Do a Disney show, do whatever. I think that's fantastic. Use what you have.
Okay, that's great. I'm good with it.
Okay, so then do you want us to just place our things on the board, or do you want us to email you so we don't make sure we don't double
Yeah, I would start, if you guys can start looking through the slides and decide which boxes you want.
Okay.
Then, and if you just want to email those to me, then
Okay.
I will get them in the choice board once I've figured out how that's going to look and work.
Okay, as long as you don't mind. I don't want to like assume you'll do it.
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
Okay, so then remind me again, what are the 3 things we're focusing on?
So it can be any writing. So if you go, I shared this whole
Any type of writing, not just one certain type.
I don't think so. I think if we want to, especially since there's 5 of them, like we could include a personal narrative. We could include a fictional narrative.
So basically, I'm just going to go through here and choose any 3 writings that I like or think would be good. And
then anything from any one of these slides that you like. Okay. Or if you want to create your own and you want to say, you know what, I really want them to draw this, but I know there's some drawings in there too, you know.
Okay.
How do we make sure we get equal representation? Because I think in order to make it a true choice, they have to have like 4 writing, 4 informational, 4 fiction, and 4 writing or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
make sure we're not just randomly. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of asking too, like.
Yeah. So do you want, like, maybe if Ashley wants to pick 4 writing, or if somehow we want to divide it up that way, and like.
How about everybody picks 1 writing, 1 response to informational, and 1 response to literature.
Okay.
And then hopefully our writing ones aren't all the same.
Okay.
If they are, then obviously I'll email you back and go, hey, we already have that one. Can you pick another one?
What if we just put it all on a Google Doc so we can see real time what other people have chosen?
Too. That way
that works too. Yes. One of you want to create that and share it with
just like a Word, not a Word.
A Google Doc, yeah.
A Google Doc that's like a Word, not a slide, but just a Word thing.
Yeah, just a Google Doc.
Yeah. Okay, well then I don't mind creating that and sharing it with you guys.
Okay.
So, and then we can communicate that way too. We can use that. So I think this is good, and it's a lot less pressure.
Yeah. And it's simple. So like, we really did this last week, I thought was really good with, it was simple. There was 1 thing for the kids to do, and they seem to enjoy it. So hopefully this is something that, we can narrow down to be just more fun stuff, simple and fun that they can do.
Yes. So,
okay.
That's beautiful.
I guess the last thing that we have to do is figure out what standards that we're picking, or did we decide that we don't need to do that for the sheet that we've got to fill out and everything?
Oh yeah, I guess we do technically have. Well, we'll just put whatever standards kind of match the closest to what we.
We can look through our curriculum map, the guide. The guide thing. I don't even know what they call it. You know what I'm talking about. With the blue standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would guarantee, like 100% guarantee, that the things on these choice boards can link to the standards.
Oh, for sure.
So what we could do is when we pick the activity, we just pick the standard that it goes with and kind of note that on our document.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like if it's a writing, whatever, we just find the writing standard it goes with and put that on our document.
That then on that overview sheet, we can just put all those standards under learning standard and just put choice board. Student will pick from the choice board, and it contains all these standards.
Well, and I am, like Mike said, I don't know why I'm like the freaking dog with a bone. Like I can't stop thinking about like inferencing, drawing conclusions. I'll make sure that there's something from that. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to make sure whatever activities I pick. And like I said, I think that the tricky words one is definitely, the vocabulary skill that's so missing. And so I think that as long as we will each, and that way when we lay it out on our document, we can also see where are we heavy on something and where are we lacking. And I think that'll be excellent. But I can guarantee you I'll do something with word work. I'll do something with, the inferencing, drawing conclusions. and then which may even be write your own alternative ending or write what happened with the characters after the story ended.
So like this one is, if you could change the ending of the story,
there you go.
How would you change it and why?
And that's me. That's inferential, kind of, because they have to look into the characters' lives and they have to do a lot to do that.
Well, and like this one too, which character reminds you of yourself the most? You use details from the text to explain your choice.
Yeah. So I think we have a good plan. What's our deadline to have our stuff uploaded on the document? By Monday?
I would say Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday morning is fine, because then that gives me all Tuesday to get it typed into the choice board.
Do we want to do a little mini baby lesson? Not lesson. That's not the right word. Do we want to do a little mini baby talk, like a meeting like we're doing now, like Tuesday or something, when we all get it together? If we need it, do you want to see? We don't have to.
We can just email it out if we've got any questions or problems.
Yeah, because you can comment on that Google Doc too. You can just write a comment on there and ask a question.
Okay. I was just thinking if we wanted to touch base before we turned it in, just because it's 2 weeks. And then are we, like with minutes and requirements, though, I want to make sure we hit our weekly meeting minutes too, because our staff meeting or our 5th grade level meeting is usually, doesn't that count for like an hour?
Yeah.
I think we're good, Amanda.
I think we're good.
We're good.
Okay.
Innocent until proven guilty. That is our motto. 5th grade ELA team. Unless they come and say you need to do X, Y, Z, we are innocent and doing awesome.
And like next Thursday, we can still meet next Thursday at noon and say, hey, how did your kids do this week?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Or,
definitely.
do we want to change it or do we want to leave it as is? We can choose to, fix things at that point too. So we'll still meet next.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want Thursdays at 12 or 1 then? Do we like 12 normally or is 1 better?
I like 12. I just,
Yeah.
12's fine.
Yeah, we had a meeting today though, so we were busy.
That's why we couldn't do 12. Okay, so then my question is, when it comes to the parent guide, because I'll go ahead and do the parent guide for this.
You love doing it so much in your heart.
So do you guys don't think that I would need to go as specific as no, the parent guide is going to be very simple. It's going to be
see choice board.
The choice board, choose a choice a day. And okay, I'm just making sure. Sorry, sometimes I have to talk things out.
That's okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot less labor intensive than the last few.
Yes, ma'am.
But but make sure we.
All right. Well, I'll do that. I'll do the parent guide.
Okay, and then we'll look over that and share it with us, and we'll look over that before we turn it in. But I think this is a good plan, and I think it only took us how many weeks to get to this point?
And we've been talking about it since day one, like choice boards, and we just
you found some good stuff.
But you know what? We did what we were asked to do. Like that day we met in the library, we were told, keep it rigorous, keep it on pace, keep it in your curriculum guide. We did that, and we happen to have sucktastic skills to start distance learning with. Yes, it's a thing. You can use it. But it's like we had to me, those are the 2 worst standards to try to teach as a first delivery, home lesson.
There are no good reading skills, in my opinion, to teach over the internet. Like, Honest reading, you need to be face to face so that you can hear the kid read. I'm sorry, that's just
the only thing I could say is like fiction. Some of the stuff that anything they've been familiar with would have been probably a better place to start. Like review from the first half of the year or something like that. Would have been better.
Yes.
But any new instruction is just not been a good thing. So we tried. I watched my daughter. She doesn't want it. Like she's getting bored. Like, and her teachers in 8th grade aren't doing very many video lessons. But like, who wants to, as a kid, watch a video and then do an activity? Like, it doesn't matter how fun the activity is. Like,
right.
Oh,
It's
I totally, this week, I think it was on Monday, I gave my kids the first 2 answers on that document, on the idioms page.
Yeah.
And I put it in my video. So like as I'm making my video, I'm explaining it and I'm going, oh, so oh, this answer would be C. And I even type it in there. Do you know I still have like lots of kids who got those wrong?
Yep.
They probably didn't watch your video.
No.
I know. Like, why am I making daily videos?
I know.
You know what? You're doing it because it's just like I look at my read alouds. I'm doing the Lightning Thief and I'm doing Hank the Cow Dog because I got to finish that whatever just to give 2 choices of books. But like, you know, at first my views were higher and they're declining, but I'm not going to stop because I have one little girl who lives for one of my books. Like not because it's me, but like she's craving the story. So, if I'm doing it for her, I'm doing it for her, but it is frustrating when we're doing, because it's very, I think I posted something on Facebook the other day that's like, well, the school building's closed, but it's not closed.
Right.
We're working more than we've ever, I mean, this is a lot.
Yeah, and you guys know GT.
Yes.
The science team.
Yeah.
A parent reached out yesterday, like super frustrated. Of course, they're gonna start barking when I'm talking. Hey, shut up!
They got things to say too.
That's what I do. I just yell at them, shut up, and they still don't shut up. But anyways, so yeah, a parent reached out super frustrated, like saying, we've been trying to do the science work. We can't see the videos. We can't watch the videos. Da, 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 da. And so finally, I just told Christy, because it's Christy's kid that's in her homeroom. I said, just go in his Google Classroom and see what's going on. I said, because I know GT's putting the work in there. So he's made all his videos private.
Oh.
And so he was like, well, that's funny. I don't know why the other kids haven't said anything about they can't watch the videos. And I'm like, that's because nobody's watching the videos. No one has said anything for the past 5 weeks about this man's videos and not being able to see them. Finally, a parent yesterday was just so frustrated and said something. And
wow.
That is so funny. Well, it's like I just had a parent reach out to me and she said, can you call me so I can get Chloe set up on my home computer? I'm like, dude, we're 5 weeks in. What do you mean get her set up? Where have you been?
Let me do you one better. I called a parent last Friday and I'm like, hey, just seeing how things are going. Oh, yeah, she's still at her grandma's. She hasn't come back from grandma's since spring break. Because her grandma said if she leaves, she can't come back, you know, with COVID-19.
Oh,
So she hasn't done anything. She's just been at grandma's house just chilling.
Now here, oh God.
This is what we're dealing with. Or
like
what
if,
I'm dealing with.
you know, well, because sadly, like if I had been with my grandma like that growing up, she would have read to me. We would have done stuff on the line. She would have helped me cook. We would have made new, you know, my grandma was like the best.
Or at least ask, where's your schoolwork? I know y'all still have school. What are you doing?
Yeah. But I would have been getting something out of life at my grandma's. So I'm hoping that that child is getting something out of life at grandma's, even if it's home ec and, you know, something. But Jiminy Christmas, like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how there's a thought. Like, I don't understand as a parent. I'm a parent. And I don't understand the notion that, oh, we're just done now, or, you know, oh, there's work.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, if you have a true life crisis, I understand that, but a lot of ours are not. Like I was talking to my student today, and she's like, "No, we just been chilling." Okay.
Yeah, Latricia was like, "Would y'all hurry up?"
I know. Maybe you're not as amused by us, Latricia.
Been over 10 minutes ago, but y'all just talking. Okay, we're sorry, Latricia.
Well, I mean, it's. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind seeing each other a little bit. Like, I don't get a whole lot of grown-ups in my house, you know?
Yeah, me neither.
I don't mind this, you know, it's once a week, so I'm that.
We're a great team. I appreciate you ladies.
I appreciate you guys too. I think
appreciate you guys.
we could have it a lot worse. It could be bad.
I think we gel really well.
I do too. I think that we figured it out, and I'm stressed, but in different ways. And that Friday was awful. Like, I felt awful inside. I just felt, it was just almost like you're standing there and you see this impending storm coming, And it's like, oh God, I gotta hunker down.
And I had no idea it was gonna be like this. I really didn't. I don't know what I was thinking that Friday, but
wait, what Friday are you talking about? Oh, the one that I missed?
The 13th.
Maybe that's why I felt lost this whole time. Yeah, I missed that one.
Maybe. But it felt like this, oh my God, it's coming. And it felt awful to me. And I didn't know how to, I don't know.
I honestly don't. I'm with Ashley. I went to that meeting going, dude, we're doing all of this for nothing because we're not going to miss school. And here it is 6 weeks later. And it's like, oh my
And
God.
I would have never thought it was, even when I was thinking, I was like, okay, we might be out a week, maybe two. So maybe these 2 weeks of lessons we're doing, they might get, I never would have thought we wouldn't be returning. Never saw that one coming.
Never.
No, but I don't know. I'm living that roller coaster. Like, it's just, I never imagined it. So I'm ready for, and then, I don't know. I'm just talking, sorry. But, I don't know. I hope, I'm worried about things opening up again too, though. They're talking about moving it up. Now, let me tell you something. Side note, Quentin Lucas has done a good job for Kansas City. I think he's a good mayor. And I like him a lot. I want him to be my governor because he is smart enough to say, hey, we've got, this is the day everyone wants to push this up. We're not pushing this up. We're going to let it set and we're going to watch it because.
Well, I think he realizes you can't make everybody happy. And
Joe.
Joe.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?